Manchester United have reached the promised land.
Hello everyone, welcome to the United Theory. With 66 points scored, it was quite a surprise to many that United made it to the Champions League spots. To attribute that to the genius of Ole as a manager, or the impact that Bruno had made since his arrival, or Leicester and Chelsea not having a perfect second half to the season, the choice depends on how you perceive that season. Today with me once again are Sudhi and Moosa. We will be doing a player ratings for our players based on their performances throughout the season. Guys, welcome to the show once again. How are you guys doing?
Thanks, man. All good.
Perfect.
Hi Ajay, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you, Sudhi?
All good Ajay.
Perfect. I hope both of you are staying safe. So, without further ado, I think I'll start with the most controversial player. Let's start from back. Come to Sudhi first. Sudhi, how much would you rate the highest season this year?
Well, with respect to DEGEA, right? So there are two ways how you could rate him. So one, with respect to DEGEA standards, and two, with respect to the normal goalkeeper standards.
Okay.
With respect to DEGEA standards, I would give him a 4 out of 10 this season. And with respect to normal goalkeeper contribution, I would say like 5 out of 10. He's been average this season, and he has to kick on it and start performing next season.
So you're rating him purely below average par, right?
Yes, 5 out of 10. He's been average.
I mean, yeah, it's very evident that De Gea didn't have a good season, and especially last few games, I think he has been very poor, very low on confidence. You can see like he's making very silly mistakes, schoolboy mistakes. I would rate him a 6 on 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
6 is a fair enough score, or
I think no, I think 6 because of the whole team has improved post lockdown, but De Gea, I think it was just the opposite for him, because I think he was having a better season better season before lockdown than after lockdown. So that's why I would rate him 6. Yeah.
What about WANBISSAKA?
WANBISSAKA, I would rate him 8. He has been really good. I mean, his defensive, the tackles, and especially one-on-ones, be it. So we had our season is, it was a half. I mean, it was a season of 2 halves, basically. So we had the lockdown and everything. And so WANBISSAKA, I think before the lockdown also, he was showing signs. And after that also, he was, I agree that going forward and crossing the ball hasn't been great from Bissaka, but when it comes to one-on-one and when it comes to sliding tackles and covering the right wing, blocking the shots, I think I would give him an 8 on 10. He has been one of the best signings we have had.
Sudhi, with Moosa score about 8 on 10 for Bissaka, do you think perfect balance between his defensive abilities and also going forward what he can achieve?
Well, the problem has always been with him going forward and crossing the ball and stuff like that. And like he mentioned, it's a season of 2 halves. And before the lockdown, I think he was fantastic. And I think he made the most number of tackles in the league this season, if I'm not wrong. And post lockdown, he's been bang average. So I would give him 7 out of 10. He's been very crucial to our defense this season. He's played some amazing games, and he has to improve on his attacking front. But he has 7 out of 10 now for Aaron WANBISSAKA.
I think hated FC giving 7 on 10 to any player is equal to 10 on 10.
Wait till we get to our attackers, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sudhi, what about Lindelof?
Sorry, what's that?
What about Lindelof?
Well, with Lindelof as well, I mean, with the inclusion of Harry Maguire and stuff like that, so he has been good. He's been consistent, but I still think he needs improvement in terms of aerial abilities, and sometimes he just switches off. So he's had an okay season for me. I would say 6.5 out of 10.
What about you, Moosa? Is there something, a specific performance of Lindelof that you can recall?
I mean, I don't remember any specific performance, but as Sudhi mentioned, I think he has been very consistent, and I think he was on par with Maguire. The only thing is Maguire is better in air than Lindelof, and he has got better strength. But Lindelof has been very consistent, and he has been very vital in our defense. I would rate him 7.5.
And apparently he's been dribbled past just 3 times this season. I mean, this is something that Liverpool fans brought up a lot, right? When Van Dijk was bought in. So
Yeah.
it's it's a decent stat to have, but yeah, I think it'll only improve.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we never. I don't think our fans never
Yeah,
ever made any claims that Lindelof to
exactly.
be Van Dijk level or anything. But
Uh,
he is silently climbing the heights, I believe, without any fuss.
mhm.
we just have to remember, as much as we are expecting him to improve, there is a very good chance that United will go and buy a defender this season.
Of
So
course, yeah.
what his role next season, it remains to be seen. But I think it's fair enough rating 7.5 and 6.5 with the points that you've told. What about his partner, Harry Maguire? He's played every minute of the Premier League season this year.
Sudhi, I think you should go first.
Okay. Well, he's been a great addition to the squad, man. Let's be honest with that. And ever since he came, I think we've considered 30 less goals this season, and we've have if one of the best, if not the best, records in Europe across top five leagues. Is he a 80 million pound defender? I don't think so. He has been skinned so many times this season. He's made some individual errors and stuff like that. But at the same time, you have to just look back at the entire season, and he's done a good job actually. But yeah, of course, I think he needs someone who can complement himself. I think giving him the armband was a bit too soon because this is his just first season, right? So I still think someone at the club who's played more games, who's more senior, I think they should be the one who should get the armband. But yeah, he's had an okay season. I would look into all the things that he has done. I mean, we have considered 30 goals less compared to last season, so that's a great sign. And yeah, I would say 7.5 out of 10.
So, but he inherits he comes in with a lot of leadership qualities, and it's just fair to say that he just inherits that position of being a United leader. The persona of what a captain of Manchester United should be. So, is that
Sure.
a
Yeah, I
reason?
mean, I'd agree with you. He might possess some leadership qualities, but I personally think that the club should give the armband to someone who's more experienced, who knows a bit about the club, who's been here for a while. So just that's my personal opinion. That's about it.
What about you, Musa? Would you take him still? Were you happy with him being captain, and what is your rating for him?
I have mixed feelings about Maguire. I mean, coming with, obviously coming with a lot of hype and money, but he has been good in, most of the games. But there were certain, games where I think the Chelsea game and a few other games, I think, where he comes, one on one and, he panics. He looks like he's panicked and he makes some silly mistakes and some of his clearances are like very terrible. Like, most of the time we end up losing the ball. And uh, regarding captaincy, I don't agree that one should be at the club for a long time and know the club to be captain. I think because it's football, and if you have the quality, if you are good enough, I mean, you can lead the club. I mean, I don't think you need any history or history with the club or knowing the club. I don't think that really matters. If he's a good leader, I think he'll show it on the pitch, be it any club or country. I would rate him 7 on 10. And he has made a couple of errors again, very silly errors, not expected of a 80 million pound defender, and some of his clearances were terrible. So I would rate him 7.
Axel TUANZEBE has only played limited minutes this season, but I think it's important to include him in our discussion because, as much as we want to go and buy another defender, there are a lot of people who see a lot of upside potential in this youngster. So, based on what you saw from him this season, how much would you rate him? Do you think he can be the long-term defender United want?
TUANZEBE.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, obviously he has got the potential, and I think he has got strength. also, and I think compared to Maguire, he's a bit more quicker. So I think uh, he is what do you say, someone whom we can maybe in coming seasons, maybe I'm not sure whether we loan him, but yeah, he can come up in these initial FA Cup or League Cup games and start off, and just we should give him some time. But whatever little I've seen, I think that guy has got potential and strength and a bit more pace also compared to other defenders we have. So I would rate him 6 because I don't think I have seen him much, but I think that kid has got the potential.
Sudhi, what about you?
Well, he's made some 5 appearances in the Premier League this season. Well, the data is too less for me to give him a rating. But yeah, I don't think so. He's the right guy. Like for example, if we don't buy another defender, I don't think this guy can come in and it would make our defense better. I don't think he is that guy. I think he still needs some time. We still should go ahead and buy a defender, a left-footed centre back, like how Ole prefers. Someone who can dictate the play, someone who can bring the ball from the back. So for Axel, I would give him 5 out of 10.
Okay, fair enough. That's fair enough rating, I feel. Ever since we bought Luke Shaw back in the day, we've never got a full season out of this young, very very talented, football player that everybody was expecting him to become. But there is just that upside potential he's not reaching it because he never manages to stay fit. But however, whenever he's been on the pitch for us this year, he's been tremendously amazing, and he's contributed so much for us going forward. What about Luke Shaw, guys? Sudhi, what about you?
Well, with regards to Luke Shaw, of course, man, he's had a good season, but the downside being like, he cannot play the entire season. He has his injuries coming up constantly, and I don't know why exactly is that. Is our medical staff that bad, or is it his personal problem? Or I don't know what exactly is happening. So, having said that, so he did have a great season, to be honest. And post lockdown, if you look at it, and we were having a great run of form, and we were excellent. We were shipping in. We were scoring 2-3 goals for fun, and with Bruno coming in and stuff like that. And ever since he got injured, right? So that rhythm kind of broke. So you could tell how important Luke Shaw was to our system. I think he's had a good season. The only thing is he has to maintain that consistency and not be injured and give a proper full season as expected from a first choice Manchester United left back. So I would give him a 7 out of 10. He's been really good this season.
And how about you, Moosa?
Yeah, I think I'm a fan of Luke Shaw actually. I mean, we all know he has got the potential, man. Like he has the talent, he has the potential, but for some reason, we are not getting it in a full season or a full stretch. So there is always a break. I think it was LVG season where Luke Shaw and Martial was building that rhythm, and we were getting few goals, and Luke Shaw got injured, that horrible injury, and then he went. So after that, then he put on weight, and his fitness. He looks a bit tired after 70-75 minutes and all that. So, but there is no doubt that Luke Shaw has the talent and potential. I think, he's somewhat like Chris Gale, like when he gets going on his day, he's like really good at that left wing. So, but yeah, very inconsistent that way. But I think I would rate him a 7 on 10.
Moosa bringing back some RCB memories.
Let's not go there, bro. RCB.
It's actually till now that you guys have matched on your ratings, so it's very
yeah, credit where it's due, man. And do you really think he can be our number one left back if he doesn't give us full season consistently? I think that's where Brandon Williams and apparently Ethan Laird actually is a better player than Brandon Williams, some would say. And Brandon only got the call because Ethan was injured at that point of time. But yeah, I think we will see more of Brandon Williams also next season if Luke Shaw is not consistently performing next season.
Yeah, exactly like you say, we are a blessed academy in that regard. We've always had some amazing players come through our ranks. Correct. Like you said, Ethan Laird, he is knocking on the door, but just before we get to him, Brandon Williams, who was the replacement for Shaw for the time he was injured. Again, another lad with tremendous potential, and he looked solid, didn't he?
Musa, you want to go with that first?
Yeah. I mean, he definitely looks solid for I don't know, 18 years old, 19 years old. He definitely looks solid for that, and he has the pace, and he's very fearless going for the tackles when you see the game. Sometimes it's risky, but I think most of the time he gets away with it, like with the ball. So, but I wouldn't like call him as a proper number one. I mean, what do you say, a number one priority at left back. He's a good backup right now for Luke Shaw. He has to prove himself. I think I don't think I've seen most of the times, when a right winger just shoulders him, he just flies away. I don't think he has the strength of a left winger to, just hold back the wingers. But he can be a handy backup. So from whatever I've seen him this season, I would rate him a 6.5. And I think, yeah, he has the potential for sure, and he has been very solid and fearless. But yeah, he needs to improve a lot on his fitness and strength, basically.
What about you, Sudhi?
Well, I think he's been really good whenever he's been called upon. And the lad does the job. And like Musa said, yeah, of course, the strength should be there because we all know Premier League is a very physical league. Having said that, since he's 19 years old, I think he will get there. Rashford was like that too when he came through the ranks. But now he's proper built and he's ready for the Premier League. I think Brandon is going to be there for sure, without a doubt. I would give him a 6.5.
Again, you guys matched again. That's nice.
But when I say gaining strength, I don't mean beefing up like Lukaku and Luke Shaw. I don't know what physios and dietitians at the club. I mean, when someone says gain strength, it's not like gaining weight and you can't bend down. Not that.
Fitness. You have to be fit.
Yeah, you have to be fit and strength and not fat.
For a lot of United fans, I think one of the highlights of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial career up till now, I think it has been reviving Scott McTominay and Fred back to what potential they were promising. Before Bruno came, Fred was a very, very important player for us. His performances were immaculate. He was doing his job. He was getting things done. He was the person who was doing the dirty work for the attackers going forward and covering up for the defenders. Has he dropped all that? And what happened to Fred's season? How much would you give him as a rating?
I think if there was anyone who was affected by Bruno's arrival, I think that would be Fred, because Fred was the player. If we see before the lockdown, he was one of our best players actually, because nobody counted on Fred, seeing whatever he has done last season. So, but he has been really good. He has that flair, that Brazilian flair he has, and his work rate has been really good. Whenever he coming to defend and going up to attack, and the work rate has been really good. But again, season of two halves and post lockdown, I don't think after Bruno's arrival, Fred, I don't think he had much chances, and then Pogba came and that partnership started, and then we have again Scott McTominay and everyone. But I think before lockdown, Fred was our main player, and just for that, I would give him a 7.5 for this season.
Sudhi?
Well, 7.5 means that he had a really, really, really good season. But well, I would agree with him. Fred has been vital before the lockdown. To be honest, he surprised me. I never thought. I still think Fred, should be a backup player. I don't think he's good enough to start for Manchester United week in and week out. So yeah, he's been great. He did the job when we were out of our depth, so we basically relied on Scott McTominay's and our Freds. So yeah, he's been decent. I would give him a 7 out of 10.
Just to bring a little bit personal side in all of this, I'm a great fan of Peter Drury, and I don't think anyone else is not a fan, but biggest thing is when Scott McTominay scores, Peter Drury is always the one who commentates, and this one particular commentary of the red letter day.
Red letter day,
yeah.
Which brings me to my next player, Scott McTominay. And he has scored some bangers this season for us.
Yep, I think he scored that banger against Arsenal too this season. Was it this season? Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
we equalized.
yeah, he was he was really great this season, and of course, so one can never forget that goal against City right in the 92nd, 93rd minute, and he basically sealed the 3 points, and we did a double over Pep Guardiola's Man City. So, and throughout the season, if you look at it, he's been excellent. But is he a number one central defensive midfielder? I don't think so. But are we going to buy any new player? No. I think Ole sees him as a guy who would replace Matic over the coming years. You could see that coming from afar, like light years away. He's going to do that. He's going to develop McTominay into a central defensive midfielder. And yeah, I think he will play more and more games as he progresses. And I think he's shown some excellent signs. And he's a red through and through. And like yeah, he's had a good season. I would give him a 6 out of 10.
Okay, and Musa, what about you?
I mean, he has had a good season, and he has shown immense maturity, man. I think he's very matured. He has played so much of he has got so much of experience playing in the league. But I think he has hardly had two full seasons, and he doesn't look like that. He's like he has been there for quite some time, like 4 5 years. So he has that maturity and that calmness. He's a good leader also, I believe. But again, I wouldn't call him a number one CDM for us right now. I think we need a backup to Matic, who is a proven a defender. But yeah, McTominay has been good, but not great. He has scored some really good goals, but yeah, there's still a lot of room for improvement. I would give him a 6.5.
What on to the last 2 minutes? You guys said Matic. So let's start with Matic. Musa, go for it. And I want you to include, his performances after the lockdown were tremendous. We gave him a new contract, but after that contract, he's just become Matic. So
I mean, Matic has been very inconsistent in the sense you don't know which Matic turns up for the game. Like it's more like Manchester United this season. So one game we play really good, and the other game we play shit. So that has been the case with Matic also. I think one game really good and just drops in the other game. So I don't know. I think he's he's 32, 33. I think he's past his prime, and we need a backup for him. And he can be I think maybe we can keep him for a year and play him in the occasional less important games as a CDM. But we definitely need a backup for him. I would again give him a 6.5 for this season.
and you, Sudhi?
Well, I think he was very crucial to our season. Basically, and he's had a fantastic season. Don't get me wrong. Whenever Matic was starting, our defense looked more solid. So he kinds of shields our defense with you know that our defense hasn't been that great. Like there are a lot of individual errors that is being committed by Harry Maguire, your Lindelof, your David DEGEA and stuff like that. So whenever Matic has started, so there has been that consistency, and I think he brings in a lot of experience when he starts. He's been playing in the Premier League for a long time, and he's won the Premier League a couple of times too. So he knows how to get the job done. He knows how to dictate the game. I think he's fantastic. I think we still can get one more season out of him, but we still require amazing backup for this guy. So he's had a fantastic season. I would give him a 7 out of 10.
Paul Pogba was injured for at least the major part of the season. And, Musa, you said probably the person who has been the most affected by Bruno's arrival was Fred. But is the person who's been the most affected in a very positive way by Bruno's arrival? Is it Pogba? How was
Yeah.
it?
I think yeah, he'll be the one because he was irritated from the season starting. There were news about him going and him leaving and all that. I don't think he was happy here. I don't think he considered his peers to be world class. His counterparts, or the colleagues who play with him, at the midfield. I don't think he considered those players to be at his level. I don't know whether he had some ego issues, but when Bruno came and Bruno clicked, and and the lockdown and everything happened, I don't think he had anywhere to go. So he was left with only one option, that was Manchester United, and I think he took it with both hands, I believe. And again, he hasn't played. What did he play for till lockdown? He hasn't played much till majority of the season. Again, it's very difficult to rate him, but we all know what potential he has and what a player he can be on his day. But he was showing some signs at the latter stage of the tournament. So I think I would rate him a 6.5 because that was the only, hardly we saw him for 10 games, 15 games. But I think next season, I hope he is fit and all that, and he and Bruno will make a really good partnership, and I think we'll get to see some really good moves and goals.
What about you, Sudhi?
Well, I was really gutted for Pogba this season because of his injury and stuff like that. I think, on his day, he's the best player for us by a country mile. And with the inclusion of Bruno Fernandes, right? So I think the pressure on Paul Pogba to perform week in, week out has been reduced by a little bit. So I think with a little bit of pressure taken off from his shoulders, I think he can, perform to a level where he would drop in a 7 or 8 out of 10 every game week. So I think we can expect that out of Paul Pogba next season. And I think he is more confident that we are going in the right direction when we sign Bruno Fernandes. So I just think we need to, build a team around these players. And I'm really excited to see what Pogba has to offer next season, because I don't think Manchester United at least haven't seen the full potential of Paul Pogba as of now, and exciting times ahead. And like Moosa said, he's not played those many games this season. I think he had 15, 16 appearances in the Premier League this season. And yeah, I mean, post-lockdown has been fantastic. Him and Bruno linking up together is just a joy to watch. I would have to agree with Moosa. I would give a 6.5 as well.
Before I get into the attacking flair of Manchester United, one player who we bought in very cheap, and he had a brilliant start, and he came in with a lot of, if I can use the word in a not so bad way, he comes in with a lot of passion. He plays for the badge. He is someone who doesn't play for the name on the back. When you see him, he's gonna play for the badge. It's Daniel James. Brilliant goals at the start of the season. Some brilliant performances as well. But then it faded away because, there is a few conceptions that he can't keep the ball at his feet for longer times. So where do you see Daniel James for us?
Well, initially, man, he was so great. He scored 3 games in a row, 4 games in a row, and he was on fire with his curlers and stuff like that. He had a lot of pace, and yeah, I mean, I would agree with you that he plays with a lot of passion. But there were so many signs this season where he showed he's just a championship level player. So I think he has to. I mean, it's his first season. You can't criticize him all that much because it's his first season. But I think he has to improve a lot. And when we play against teams that kind of sit back, right? So when we play against the less, the relegation battles, or teams outside top 6 who kind of want to sit back when we play them at Old Trafford and hit us with a counter. So in these games, I don't think Dan James is effective at all. So he's more effective in games like when we play the top teams, they are attacking us and we can use him for counter-attack. So I still think next season, I don't know if he can start when, I think Jadon Sancho coming in and stuff like that. I think he would be a good player to come off the bench and make an impact 70th minute, 75th minute, tired legs, and I think he can come in and fit there. I think he has had a very average season, man. I would give him a 5 out of 10.
And you, Moosa?
Yeah, I mean, he has showed some signs in the first half. I mean, first few games, especially scoring in the first game against Chelsea, and after that few really good goals. And he has got the pace and he has got the skills, but I don't think he has got that composure at some times, and in keeping the ball and all that. As Sudhi mentioned, I think he turns out to be a very average player this season. I don't think he's someone of a Manchester United level yet. from whatever we have seen this season. As he mentioned, I think he's a good player who can come off the bench, and he has got the pace. That is one of his biggest strength, the pace and the dribbling abilities. I mean, so I think he can come off the bench and be a super sub, not a proper starting 11 United player. I would rate him as 6, just below. I mean, just above average.
So
Hopefully he scores against Leeds next season, man. He was almost going to join Leeds, right?
Yeah. We got him for cheap. I mean, I wouldn't say cheap, but I think he was worth that only from this season. Yeah.
well, it's now that we get the best for the last, and we come into the final part of our episode today. So I don't need to say anything about this person. Everybody knows the impact he's made, and he probably has been one of the most impactful signings in English Premier League history. 8 goals, 6 assists. Bruno Fernandes, go for it.
So, Moosa, you want to go first?
Okay. I mean, as you mentioned, I don't think I've seen a player. I've been following the league for quite some time now. I don't think I've seen any player make an impact, instant impact. Players do make an impact, maybe a season. It might take a season or a half, or a season, or maybe 2 seasons. But instant impact, someone just turned on the switch. He just turned on it for Manchester United. He just turned it around. And from the game 1 he played till the last game, he has maintained that level. He has maintained that form. There was no dip in form. There was he was the same player who turned up on the first day for Manchester United and this last day as well. So I think I don't think I have seen anyone make such an instant impact like Bruno did, and definitely is one of the reasons why we are in the Champions League. Not just because of the goals he scored and the assists he's made. There were so many chances created. There were so many through balls which didn't go through, but he had that vision, and all those things, makes you feel like, okay, we are playing the way we should, or we are playing the way we were playing before. Those very risky balls. I think that the Martial free kick he scored against City, it was pure vision from Bruno to just put it to him. I don't think anyone in that team other than Pogba would have had that. Pogba, but again, he has got so many other stuff to do as well. But there was no one else other than Bruno who would do such thing in our team, right? So definitely he has been the game changer. I would rate him 9 on 10.
And Sudhi?
Well, I would have to agree with Moosa when he says he's made an instant impact. And I mean, some United fans would even say he's the best signing since Ronaldo and stuff like that. But I don't quite agree with that. I would say Bruno has been the best signing since Van Persie, if you ask me. He's made an instant impact. I would even say saved Ole's job. But you can argue with me saying Ole was the one who made the decision to bring Bruno Fernandes in. So I was just really surprised what our scouts were thinking at the starting of the season when someone said, "Hey, listen, Bruno, we shouldn't sign Bruno Fernandes because he gives away the ball too much." So what if he gives away the ball too much? He creates those chances in a game. If he loses if he tries 10 through passes and he loses the ball 8 times out of 10, so there are these 2 times which would be a goal scoring opportunity, and our strikers have taken them this season. And he's been amazing, and he's been one of the main reasons why we're in the top 4. Man, he's one of, and the Martials, your Greenwoods, and your Rashfords have fed off him, and he's been amazing, and he's an amazing penalty kick taker too. Rival fans wouldn't agree that much because they say that Bruno is a bit of a diver and stuff like that. But I mean, he has delivered whenever he was asked for this season, and even though he has a bad game, he still ends the game with an assist or a goal. So I wouldn't say 9, because I would say 9 if he had a complete season, but since he came from Jan, I would give him an 8 out of 10.
Come on, guys. I thought both of you would give him 10 out of 10. You disappoint.
Hated FC. You can't expect that from hated FC.
How can you give him a 9 out of 10 when we're talking about player of the
Bro,
season? He was not even playing
he turned the season around, bro.
he still didn't play the whole season, right?
You don't have to play full season. You just half
You,
season is enough. He just, bro, where were we? Where were we at December? And where are we now? I mean,
yeah,
66 points is all we got, but it was an instant impact, man. Come on.
it was. So I'm giving him 8 out of 10. I think he has been amazing.
Okay.
So then let's talk about the player of the season, according to many. First question, of course, is he your player of the season? Anthony Martial. How was his season? I think he is finally showing signs of why we paid 50 million for an unknown kid. Sudhi, would you like to start this?
Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree with Ajay because he's our player of the season, man. Because you cannot say Bruno here because Bruno, like I said, again, he didn't play the whole season. He only started off from January. And Martial has been consistent throughout the whole season. He scored around, 19, 20 goals this season. It's been fantastic. He's been consistent. And yeah, he's shown a lot of improvement over the season. And I think we are still yet to see the best of him. I think if he keeps up this quality of scoring 20 Premier League goals season after season after season, I would say he's world class. But as of now, I wouldn't say he's world class. But yeah, definitely, without a doubt, player of the season for me, Manchester United this season. I would just say, I mean, this is the wildest dream that I have, right? Imagine Aubameyang in this attack. It would be insane, but I don't know if we can somehow fit in Aubameyang. I don't know if he's gonna sign the contract and stuff like that. But now that they won the FA Cup, I think it looks more likely that he will sign the contract. And Arteta has been really great. He did what Tottenham couldn't do for God knows how many years. He just came in, won the silverware in his first season. Yeah, credit's where it due. But yeah, I would love Aubameyang at United, man. I think he's the best striker in the league.
So before you get into rating for Martial, just picking up on something Sudhi said, everybody knows he's world class. He's shown us signs of it. But for some of us, the frustrating thing about Anthony Martial is he is world class one game and then he totally disappears the other game because there are glimpses of his world class goals and whatnot. What he can do. How much? How is it?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree that he has been a player of the season, no doubt in that. It was very glad to see him perform consistently for one season because we all know he has the potential. We have seen it from his first game against Liverpool. What a player he can be, and he has got the skills. He is sometimes unplayable. On his day, he is unplayable. You put how many defenders you want, he'll just get past them. And again, a very, very exact thing which you told, very inconsistent sometimes because his work rate I think is very poor. He's a lazy bum most of the time. He just doesn't go run behind the ball. He doesn't press when the goalkeeper is having or they're passing around at the back. He doesn't press much, and his work rate isn't that great. But most of the times when he gets the ball, and I mean this season to be particular, I think he has been really good. He has turned up on most occasions this time around, and he has got immense potential. I think sometimes I feel like he's not doing justice to it, himself, because he's been very lazy. He's very careless sometimes. He just takes it too casual. His passes or the through balls he puts, he's too casual with that. But his calmness and composure at one-on-ones with goalkeepers and all that, I think that's crazy. He has. I think I would rate him 8.5 for this season because he has been very consistent.
I forgot to rate Martial. I think he's a player of the season. He gets 9 out of 10 for me.
Okay, I was just going to come back to you because I was just missing on your rating for him. But nevertheless, his strike partner, some people see a very Andy Cole and Dwight York partnership developing between these two. Marcus Rashford, very respectfully, he's done tremendous jobs. That's both on
the field as well. Yeah.
A huge congratulations and respect to him in that regard. How was his season, guys?
I think again, season of two halves. He had a good season before lockdown. I mean, better season before lockdown, but after lockdown, I think, as the Hatred FC mentions, he has been doing a lot of PR stuff, and you know, he is keeping his head away from football and focusing more on PR, which is very much expected of Hated FC. But what I was saying is, yeah, he hasn't been that great post lockdown, man. Like, missing some really good chances we got, especially one-on-ones and all. I think, you just think like, how can someone miss that? I think it was there in Chelsea game also. Some, very very sitters, I would say, missing those. I don't know. He needs a lot of improvement in his finishing, especially with one-on-ones, and he needs improvement. He has had a very very bang average season post lockdown. Not great. I would rate him, because he has a good season, apparently a good season before lockdown. So I would just give him 6.5.
Oh, he's been one of our best players after Martial, man. So I think it is very harsh. I don't know why. I think this hate is coming off from David De Gea. You say that he missed a sitter, so I could say the same thing. David De Gea missed some
I,
sitters.
I did agree that David De Gea has been poor. I rated him 6.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fair rating actually. And some would say we lost the FA Cup due to David De Gea. But it is what it is, man. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. It's not your day. And speaking about Rashford, right? I think he's had a fantastic season. And before the lockdown, he was in fantastic form. He was scoring goals for fun, all the trickeries and stuff like that. I thought, I legit believed that he would be winning the Golden Boot this season. I thought somewhere he would end up between 22, 23 goals this season in the Premier League alone. And lockdown happened. Post lockdown, he has not been the same player at all. I don't know what got into his mind, PR or whatever it is, but yeah, I mean, he should have carried that form after the lockdown as well. So yeah, nevertheless, if I rating him throughout the season, I wouldn't just look at what happened post lockdown, right? So I think he's had a fantastic season. He's just 21-year-old. We are yet to see the best of him. So I would give him an 8 out of 10.
Okay. Every once in a while, there comes a football player, that surprises everybody. It's been the life cycle of football. Let's say, if there is a term like that. We've seen it. Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, the greats who come through their phase of time. Now with the new generation, Kylian Mbappe, Erling Braut Haaland.
Lingard.
Did you say Lingard? Did you actually say Lingard? No, Ajay, I was asking Ajay, did you actually say Lingard?
No, because I was just trying to build it up to Greenwood, let me be very honest. Sudhi was, let's say he's too much of a Fashion FC fan these days. So.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Fashion FC rates Lingard 8 out of 10 because he scored that winner against Crystal Palace back in the LVG days.
I think he scored the season decider, which took us from 5th to 3rd.
Who?
Lingard scored the winning goal.
Oh. Yeah, he scored just one goal that season, and apparently some bloke had a bet that Lingard wouldn't score any goals or assists that season. And I think he would be taking home some 1,400, 1,500 pounds. And then Lingard comes in, scores last minute. It's really unfortunate. But yeah, Mason Greenwood has been fantastic, man. I think all the young talent that is coming up, right, as of now, with respect to Mason Greenwood, Phil Foden, you have Saka. I think Saka has to decide which country he wants to play for, Nigeria or England. And you have many other talents. I was a bit disappointed with Hudson-Odoi, to be honest. I thought he was going to be a really, really great player. And you have the likes of Mason Mount. So I think England's got a fantastic future. And Mason Greenwood, I would say that he's been the best youngster this season in the Premier League. He's scored 18 goals. And we still have Europa League coming as well. I think, he's only going to improve. And the funny thing is, we've not even seen the best of him. He just turned 18. So we have a lot coming from Mason Greenwood yet. And I think Ole, deserves a little bit of credit. He knew exactly when to bring him into the team. He didn't rush him into the team, and I think he managed him fantastically. So credits to Ole there as well. And yeah, Mason Greenwood's had a fantastic season. I don't think anyone expected that out of him. If you ask Mason Greenwood himself, well, how much would you rate him? He would go like, okay, 7.5, because he's not at his best yet. So I would give him the same. I would give him a 7.5. He's been fantastic, and I'm really excited to see what he brings next season.
And Moosa?
I mean, crazy man. For an 18-year-old, he has been phenomenal. So people even started talking about, why do we need someone else when we have Greenwood? So that is that is the level he has reached, and the goals he scores, the power he generates in every shot, man. Come on. And I think if he takes 10 shots in a game, almost 7 of them are on target. And his rate of conversion is crazy. And I don't think I have seen a teenager, this, what do you say, prolific in, promising, and whenever he takes a shot, it's on target, man. That was the case with Greenwood. I do agree we haven't seen a full potential of him yet, but he's definitely one for the future. And he has been phenomenal especially in the right wing. And I think he has had a really good season. He turned out to be a very surprise package for us. A very surprise package in the sense that he turned out to be a very crucial player for us. I would rate him an 8 on 10.
And with Mason Greenwood, and even with Greenwood, playing this well this season, I think it would be delusional to say that we don't need another player going in for next season. We will be playing in the Champions League, we'll be playing in the Premier League, FA Cups, your Carling Cups, and all these things. So I don't think Mason Greenwood can play in all the games, right? I think it's just that our fans get too carried away, when we are on a run, when we score 2-3 goals, consistently for a couple of games. So they just get carried away, and I think Sancho will definitely improve this team, and hopefully that deal gets over by the end of this week, man.
Before I end the video, maybe by the next time we do a video, I'll have to be a little bit more careful for Sudhi stealing my highlight. But anyways, great video. Great rating by you guys. To everybody watching us, we'd like to know what you think of our players this season. Who was your player of the season? Please let us know in the comments below. That was it from us for this episode of the United Theory. As always, we hope you enjoy our content. If you enjoy our content, do give us a subscribe. We'll put a link for that below. Like the video, share it with your friends. Let us know what video you would like us to do next. See you again soon with another video. Take care, everyone. We are the United Theory.